Good evening, I'm your host Kimilia and you're watching KiniNews. I'm sure many people would like to know how much Najib Abdul Razak is worth. However, the figure he filed in court may leave many wondering, is that really all?
Former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak filed in court that he has assets worth 4.49 million ringgit. The former finance minister made this disclosure to abide by a Kuala Lumpur High Court ruling requiring him to disclose his total assets. This is as part of the court's green light for a Mareva injunction against him. Back on March 24th, the court allowed the Mareva injunction bid by SRC International and its subsidiary Gandingan Mentari as part of its main 42 million ringgit civil action against Najib. Under the law for civil action, a Mareva injunction is a court order which effectively freezes the assets of a defendant from being dissipated, pending the outcome of a related lawsuit. This restraining order is particularly effective over liquid assets, such as money held in financial institutions. The injunction order directed that Najib must not remove, dispose of, deal with or diminish the value of any assets in and outside of Malaysia up to the value of 42 million ringgit, pending the final disposal of the main lawsuit. When contacted by Malaysia Kini, Najib's counsel Muhammad Farhan Muhammad Shafi confirmed that the asset disclosure filing was made on July 20th. According to Najib's additional affidavit, the former premier disclosed his total assets amounted to 4.49 million ringgit as of June 30th. Through the exhibit attached to the filing and attested by Najib's accountant, his largest holding is his 2.52 million ringgit deposit balance in Amanah Saham Nasional Berhad as of June 13th.
The more you borrow, the bigger your interest is likely to be. This is why 1MDB will be paying over 1.5 billion ringgit just on interest this year.
The Finance Ministry has revealed that the government is set to pay 1.57 billion ringgit in interest for 1MDB debts for the year 2022. This is based on an estimated foreign exchange rate of $1 to 4 ringgit and 50 cents. The MOF revealed this in a parliamentary reply to Labis MP Pang Hock Leong, who had asked about the monthly interest payments the government needed to pay the 1MDB debt. In their response, the MOF added that the interest payments are made twice a year according to a set schedule. Previously, Finance Minister Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz had said that the remaining debt commitment of 1MDB is 32.08 billion ringgit as of June 30. Zafrul said the government had, between April 2017 and May 2022, channeled financial assistance in the form of loans or advances totaling 10.85 billion ringgit via the Finance Ministry and Minister of Finance Incorporated to pay off 1MDB's debt commitments and interest. He added that other than the government's direct financial assistance, 1MDB's debt interest is also being financed using 1MDB's asset recovery funds, which are kept in a trust account under the MOF. According to Zafrul, as of June 30, 1MDB's total funds recovered was at 19.28 billion ringgit in various foreign currencies, including the US dollar, Singapore dollar, and Australian dollar. He said 10.84 billion ringgit had been used to repay 1MDB's debts up to June 30th, and the fund has a balance of 8.83 billion ringgit.
MRT3 is going to cost almost 1 billion ringgit per kilometer, which will make it the most expensive rail project in Malaysian history in terms of cost per kilometer.
The Mass Rapid Transit 3 project, also known as MRT3, is estimated to cost 50.2 billion ringgit. Finance Minister Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz told Parliament that 34 billion ringgit is expected for construction alone. Land acquisition and project management are estimated at 8.4 billion ringgit and 5.6 billion ringgit respectively. Another 1.9 billion ringgit will be for other costs. However, he said the actual costs would be finalized after the open tender process is completed. Zafrul was responding to a question from Lembah Pantai MP Fahmi Fadzil, who requested a breakdown of the MRT3 cost and asked whether Parliament's permission would be sought for the project. At 50.2 billion ringgit for a 51-kilometer line, MRT3 is slated to be the most expensive rail project in Malaysian history on a per-kilometer basis. For comparison, the 665-kilometer East Coast rail link is estimated to cost 50 billion ringgit, while the 47-kilometer MRT-1 project cost around 22 billion ringgit. MRT-3 was devised under former Premier Najib Abdul Razak's administration. However, the tender was only called during Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob's time in office. Completion is expected in 2030.
It was a heartbreaking scene at the MRR2 highway near Ipoh today after a father flung his children from a flyover before taking his own life.
2 children were killed while another was seriously injured after they were thrown by a man from a flyover. The tragic scene unfolded at the Middle Ring Road 2 MRR2 highway in Ipoh early this morning. Central District Police Chief Bae Eng Lai said the 38-year-old man, believed to be the children's father, then jumped from the same flyover. The man and 2 of the children died on the spot. Meanwhile, police say another child he was holding in his arms sustained serious injuries after he landed on a bush by the roadside. Police received a call from a witness at 5:50 a.m. Initial investigations found that the incident involved 3 children believed to be of Myanmar descent. One of them was a girl aged 8, while the other 2 are boys, whose ages are yet to be confirmed. Doctors estimate the injured victim to be around 5 years old. He is now receiving treatment at the Selayang Hospital Intensive Care Unit. The case is being investigated under Section 302 of the Penal Code for murder.
Khairi is hoping to phase out smoking, but some lawmaker Nazri Aziz fears this could be an infringement on the future generation's freedom of choice.
Padang Rengas MP Muhammad Nazri Abdul Aziz has predicted that youths could bring a case against the government for infringing on their freedom of choice. This is if the Generational Endgame or GEG bill to ban smoking for those born from 2007 onwards is passed. Nazri said he would agree if the government were to ban smoking for everyone. However, the GEG will create a form of discrimination based on age. He added that the freedom of choice is a very important human right that is enshrined in the federal constitution. Nazri said that he agrees with the health ministry on the dangers of smoking, but that he is only raising his concerns so the ministry can look into this matter. He also said there are ways to prevent secondhand smoking without banning smoking outright, such as the health minister's powers to designate an area as a non-smoking area. Nazri said this during his debate on the second reading of the Tobacco and Smoking Control Bill 2022 in the Dewan Rakyat yesterday. A section of the bill known as the GEG seeks to make it unlawful to sell tobacco products and smoking devices to those born from January 1st, 2007 onwards, with the ban starting in 2025.
Meanwhile, opposition MPs want the Generational Endgame bill to be scrutinized by the PSC.
Opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim has called on the government to refer the Generational Endgame bill to a Parliamentary Select Committee or PSC that would scrutinize concerns over its enforcement. This came following discussions with opposition MPs on the matter. According to Anwar, many MPs supported the bill in principle. However, they had also raised their concerns over constitutional rights as well as issues on enforcement of the bill. Therefore, he said a PSC led by Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin should be tasked to examine the matter and develop recommendations within a month. In a post on Facebook, Anwar added that he has written to Dewan Rakyat Speaker Azhar Azizan Harun on the matter as well as submitted a formal motion under the standing orders. He hoped that the proposal to refer the bill to a PSC will be given due consideration. Previously, lawmakers had expressed concern that the GEG portion of the bill is being rushed as it was only announced in January, but they are expected to vote on the bill only a week after being able to go through it. Health professionals and human rights groups have also said they are worried about the impact of punitive measures in dealing with addiction, as well as the potential for human rights violations. The Tobacco and Smoking Control Bill 2022 was tabled for its second reading in the Dewan Rakyat yesterday, and debates will continue today. The GEG section of the bill seeks to make it unlawful to sell tobacco products and smoking devices to those born from January 1st, 2007 onwards, with the ban starting in 2025.
A flight instructor was killed last night after the plane crashed during a night training flight in Ipoh.
A flight instructor was killed while another person was injured in a plane crash in Ipoh, Perak yesterday. According to the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, a Piper 28-161 aircraft was on a night training flight when the incident occurred. The CAAM added that they will be conducting an investigation into the cause of the crash. In a statement, the Perak Fire and Rescue Department said they had received a call at 8:10 p.m. and dispatched rescuers from the Ipoh Fire and Rescue Station to the scene. The fire department said that the team found that a light aircraft had crashed at the location and there were 2 victims. The department confirmed with Malaysia Kini that the deceased was flight instructor Fajim Jufa Muhammad Mustafa Kamal, a retired Royal Malaysia Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, while the injured victim is Muhammad Din Fikri. Transport Minister Wee Ka Siong in a statement said that the CAAM and Air Accident Investigation Bureau will conduct a thorough investigation of the incident. Meanwhile, in a post on Facebook, Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob conveyed his condolences to the family of Fajim Jufa.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.